What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Justin Gaethje talks Makhachev versus Oliveira 2. In addition to capturing the BMF belt by defeating Dustin Poirier in the main event of UFC 291, Justin Gaethje also cemented his place as the likely #1 contender at 155 pounds. With Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira set to compete at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi, Gaethje will surely have his eyes on the fight. As he explained in a recent interview with ESPN's Brett Okamoto, he has no plans of being in attendance when these two fight. However, that could change given that the last time he fought in Abu Dhabi back in 2020, he was forced to isolate in his hotel thanks to lockdown protocols and procedures.
No, I won't. I mean, all I care about is who wins. You know, who wins. If Makhachev wins, I'm sure he's going to want to fight before Ramadan. So I think, February, March, I'm not sure when it starts.
In the case of Oliveira, Gaethje said that he isn't quite sure when Do Bronx would be interested in potentially stepping back in the octagon. However, it seems as though he's itching to return to the octagon to compete for lightweight gold. Dana White breaks silence on Cory Sandhagen fight. Although many members of the MMA community have continued to criticize Cory Sandhagen for using a grappling-heavy game plan in the main event of UFC Fight Night Nashville, UFC President Dana White had nothing but good things to say about the Sandman during a recent Sports Illustrated interview. For the record, Cory Sandhagen tore his tricep off the bone in the first round of that fight. "The fact that kid fought is incredible," White said. "He's a stud. He lost an opponent, Umar Nurmagomedov, then took Rob Font, who's a machine on his feet. Props to the kid for being willing to take any opponent, especially with where he is in the rankings. Nothing but respect for him." While Sandhagen is likely going to be faced with a long layoff as he deals with the injury, he's made it clear that he wants to be the next man up for a crack at the 135-pound title. Of course, at the same time, Merab Dvalishvili, who is ranked #1 on the UFC's official bantamweight ladder, is eager to return from injury to get his crack at the belt once Aljamain Sterling moves up in weight. Given how stacked the bantamweight division is, it'll be interesting to see how things stand once Sandhagen is ready to return to the octagon. UFC fight updates. The UFC has had a big week booking fights and doing some last-minute scrambling to save a fight on the upcoming UFC Fight Night Luque vs. Dos Anjos card. After Brady Hiestand was forced out of his scheduled bout with Damon Blackshear, the UFC went to work finding Blackshear a new opponent. Thankfully, Dana White's Contender Series alum, Jose Johnson, will be stepping in on short notice in hopes of making a successful UFC debut against Blackshear. Next up on the calendar, we have an update to a bout between Nasrat Haqparast and Sam Patterson, which was slated for the UFC Paris card on September 2nd. Unfortunately, Patterson has been forced out of the fight due to health issues. So far, no word on who the UFC will look to have step in as a short notice replacement. UFC President Dana White also confirmed that the UFC September pay-per-view card in Australia will be headlined by a middleweight title fight between Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland. Fans had expected the bout to be finalized for several weeks now, given that the promotion seemed to be running short on headliner options. Although there were doubts that the bout would be finalized, it looks like all systems are a go for September 10th. Last but certainly not least, we have a bout between Cedric Dumas and Abu Azaitar added to UFC 294 on October 21st. The fight will see Dumas look to pick up his second straight win after defeating Cody Brundage in June, while Azaitar will look to make a successful return after a 2.5-year layoff following his UFC 260 loss to Marc-Andre Barriol. MMA community reacts to Dillon Danis versus Logan Paul. News surfaced this week that YouTuber turned WWE star Logan Paul would be stepping back into the boxing ring to take on Conor McGregor's friend and training partner, Dillon Danis. The news came as a surprise to many, given that Danis has competed in MMA at 170 pounds, while Logan weighed in at 189.5 pounds for his exhibition bout with Floyd Mayweather back in 2021. After the news surfaced, McGregor posted a tweet announcing Danis' return before then taking to Instagram to write, "They're about to learn." The comments earned a response from Logan Paul himself, who wrote, "You're next," seemingly revealing his own plans to pursue a fight with McGregor. Of course, the announcement was also met with some skepticism from both Ariel Helwani and Billy Quarantillo, with the popular UFC fighter posting a meme along with the caption, "The promoter, fight day when Dillon doesn't show up," in reference to Danis backing out of his recently scheduled boxing match at the last minute. Similarly, popular MMA community member and Karate Combat employee McMalley posted another meme regarding the potential bout between Danis and Paul. With the fight seemingly official for October 14th, only time will tell whether the two wind up stepping into the ring together. UFC not interested in Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Although the hope was that news regarding when Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler would compete inside the octagon would emerge at some point during the airing of season 31 of The Ultimate Fighter, that no longer seems to be the case. On the heels of Justin Gaethje's big UFC 291 win over Dustin Poirier, the Irish superstar seemed to abandon the idea of a fight with Chandler in favor of a matchup for the BMF title. In a since-deleted tweet, McGregor responded to a fan who asked about a potential showdown with the former Bellator champion, saying, "I'll do it if they want, no problem." McGregor said in a since-deleted tweet, "I don't think they want him, not more though. There's loads of juicy fights around, and my return date is my return date. I never give a fuck about who it was. Ever. I'll fight anyone. I'll even fly them to me. Ask Paulie Malignaggi, flown in and beat around." Chandler was quick to respond with a tweet of his own, writing, "This dude, I remember when his words held an immense amount of weight. Just tell the truth." Chandler then wound up reposting a video of McGregor promoting his forged Irish stout, calling the former champ out for failing to join the USADA testing pool while using the hashtag #BeHereToTakePart. "You spelled USADA wrong at the Notorious MMA. When are you going to exclusively give a sample so we can finish where we started?" From the sounds of things, with McGregor unlikely to walk into a lightweight title shot, he has two options outside of a fight with Chandler. Either fight newly minted BMF Justin Gaethje or former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira, who has continued to call for a fight with the Irish superstar in recent years. Oliveira recently spoke about the potential matchup in the wake of McGregor's UFC 291 post-fight tweets during an appearance on the MMA Hour. He spoke through a translator. "What's happening is that I'm here. I'm just waiting for him. All he needs to do is tell me the place and time. I'll be there." Of course, for Oliveira, the next step is a UFC 294 rematch with Islam Makhachev in October, meaning the more likely option for McGregor could be a fight with Justin Gaethje. Although the highlight initially was not interested in the fight, Gaethje recently admitted in an interview with ESPN that he would entertain the idea if he ever received a call about the bout. However, his focus is on how things play out at UFC 294. But Dana came out on a press conference and debunked the whole theory on Conor's tweets. Here's what he had to say.
"I talked to Conor, it was either yesterday or the day before, and yeah, he's ready to fight. You know, just I said, listen, get in shape and let's figure this out."
Still definitely Chandler?
Yeah, he's fighting Chandler. Conor likes to with everybody, you know what I mean? Especially his opponent or possible opponents.
And now for our breaking news story of the day. Conor McGregor might have finally re-entered the USADA testing pool. Michael Chandler took a jab at Conor on Twitter saying, "You spelled USADA wrong. When are you going to exclusively give a sample so we can finish what we started?" And Conor McGregor replied in an already deleted tweet saying, "Morning Mike, I just took a humongous piss right there, just for you. About to have a coffee now. Have a nice day." Does this mean that Conor McGregor finally gave a sample of his urine to USADA, or is he still trolling Michael Chandler? USADA's testing pool hasn't updated the samples since August 3rd, so we won't know until their website uploads the new data.